In the last few days, India Today has brought to you over 90 maps as well as satellite images that really expose how China is continuing its build-up near the LAC. After Pangong Tso as well as Galwan and the hot springs, Depsang plains really in eastern Ladakh is the latest site of China's treachery. India Today has accessed satellite images from June 22nd, just a week after the Galwan brawl, which show mega PLA build-up near the line of actual control. These latest images show how China, despite promising to move back, has not budged. In fact, PLA has come further to assert their claims to Galwan. Through open source satellite imagery, India Today took a closer look at China's Tianwendian post in the area. Established post the 1962 war, the Chinese post has seen major build-up over the years. The post now has a double-story building to accommodate troops with vehicle sheds. It can possibly hold a battalion of PLA troops. The post also has a new long-range radar which can not only observe air movement over the DBO, that is Daulat Beg Oldie, but also over Siachen. Satellite images also show build-up at forward post 5390 on the Chinese side, which is possibly being used for storage of electro-optical equipment being tested in this area. So besides Galwan Valley, China now seems to be also increasing its build-up in other parts of Ladakh. India Today has accessed these new satellite images which show how Chinese positions are now emerged also in the Pangong Tso area.
For 2 months now, Indian and Chinese troops are standing eyeball to eyeball along the line of actual control in Ladakh. After the deadly clash on June 15th, there are some signs of cooling down at the Galwan flashpoint. While Galwan has dominated the headlines for days now, the focus is back on Pangong Tso, where China is mobilizing its men and machinery. India Today has accessed these new satellite images posted by popular open source intelligence Twitter handle Detresfa. These satellite images reveal at least 4 new Chinese support positions between Finger 4 and Finger 6 areas, believed to be in the making since June 13th. One of these camps has been set up south of the main camp across the river. Boats, tents and equipments are seen in these camps from the high-resolution satellite images. That is not all. China is trying to block Indian patrolling in the Daulat Beg Oldie area between patrol point 10 and 13. Top sources tell India Today the Chinese could be planning to encroach areas near the Karakoram Pass. The Ministry of External Affairs is keeping the heat on China. It also confirmed the mobilization of troops by Chinese. In a statement, the MEA said that China has been taking unilateral actions in violation of the agreements and attempting to change status quo along the LAC. It said that the conduct of Chinese forces this year has been in complete disregard of all mutually agreed norms.
कथनी और करनी में बहुत अंतर है। चीन गलवान के इलाके में थोड़ा पीछे गया है। तो चीन का मूवमेंट और मोबिलाइजेशन ऑफ ट्रूप्स को मद्देनजर रखते हुए शक होता है कि चीन की नीयत कुछ और है। जिस तरीके से डेप्सांग प्लेन में और डेमचौक के इलाके में उसकी हरकत देखी जा रही है, ये साफ जाहिर होता है कि चीन कहता कुछ और है और करता कुछ और है।
Sources add that the Indian Army has plugged gaps along the line of actual control to stop these Chinese transgressions. Meanwhile, Army Chief General M.M. Naravane, who was camping in Ladakh for 2 days, left for Delhi after ground assessment. He is set to brief the political leadership on the prevailing situation.
China may have pulled back some additional troops and vehicles from the Galwan flashpoint, but there is massive Chinese logistics and administrative deployment near Pangong So Lake, which is a cause for grave concern. After Chinese treachery in the Galwan area, sources say the People's Liberation Army can clearly never be trusted. Until China completely withdraws and de-inducts from this region, the forces are deployed for the long haul. With cameraman Kripal Singh in Leh, Gaurav Sawant for India Today.
Meanwhile, the Pakistan Prime Minister has openly showered his praise for Al-Qaeda founder and 9/11 plotter Osama bin Laden in the National Assembly of Pakistan. Imran Khan hailed Osama bin Laden and called him a martyr. This in front of Pakistani parliamentarians. His Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi was sitting right next to him. None of the attendees objected to the title of martyr for the terrorist Osama bin Laden. This comes just one day after US State Department reports nailed Pakistan, clearly saying that Pakistan is a safe haven for terror groups. The report mentioned that Masood Azhar is roaming freely and has not faced any action. The report also mentioned 26/11 Mumbai attack, saying that its project manager and Lashkar terrorist Sajid Mir is roaming freely in Pakistan.
मुझे कभी नहीं भूलता एक हमारे पाकिस्तानियों के लिए बड़े दो शर्मिंदा वाक़यात जिसमें हम सब बड़े शर्मिंदा हुए। एक हुआ जी उसामा बिन लादेन को इन्होंने अमेरिकन ने आके एबटाबाद में मार दिया, शहीद कर दिया। उसके बाद क्या हुआ? सारी दुनिया ने हमें गालियां निकाली, बुरा हमें कहा।
Let's get you the latest on the coronavirus crisis in India. Starting off with the latest numbers from the Health Ministry. The number of confirmed cases in India stands at 4,73,105 with the death toll at 14,894. Let's also tell you the three worst affected states by coronavirus. Maharashtra has the most number of cases with 1,42,900 confirmed cases. The death toll in Maharashtra at 6,739. Over to the national capital in Delhi, the number of cases stands at 70,390 with the death toll at 2,365. In Tamil Nadu, the number of cases stands at 67,468 with the death toll at 866. So those are the latest numbers from the Health Ministry. It will be updated shortly by the government with the figures that have come in the last 24 hours as well. Let's get you the latest updates this morning from the national capital, because while Delhi is battling this unprecedented COVID crisis, Chief Minister Kejriwal and Lieutenant Governor Anil Baijal are at loggerheads yet again. After AAP opposed the LG's latest order, this is on the assessment of COVID patients at facilities, it has now been rolled back by the LG. Patients who have mild symptoms and are asymptomatic won't have to stay in COVID care centres. They don't need to also move to these centres for any sort of assessment. Here are the details.
Delhi is now the city worst hit by COVID-19. The war on coronavirus has entered a decisive phase. But at such a crucial time, the generals leading this fight are themselves at loggerheads. After a bitter face-off, LG Anil Baijal has reversed an order that made assessment of COVID patients at a government facility mandatory. The original order said the decision was sending a patient to a COVID care centre or home quarantine would depend on this assessment. The Arvind Kejriwal government had fought the directive tooth and nail, calling it a detention order.
अब फिर से दिल्ली में वही सिस्टम लागू हो गया कि अगर आपको कोरोना पॉजिटिव पाया जाता है तो आप अपने घर पे रहिए, वहीं आपकी स्क्रीनिंग हो जाएगी और दिल्ली सरकार की मेडिकल टीम आपके घर पे आके आपके घर की स्थिति देखेगी, आपके शरीर की स्थिति देखेगी। अगर टेम्परेचर नहीं है, अगर कोई और ऑक्सीजन वगैरह की प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, तो आपको वहीं घर पे ही रहने की इजाजत दे देगी।
This is in the first face-off between the Kejriwal government and Delhi LG during the pandemic. Earlier, Kejriwal and LG Bejal were at war over an order that made institutional quarantine mandatory for COVID patients. That too was later rolled back. And before that, on June 8th, the LG had reversed the Kejriwal government's order, reversing hospitals in the national capital for only its residents.
The second U-turn of the Lieutenant Governor Anil Bajal on the home isolation rules will come as a big relief for the COVID-19 patients in Delhi. But this also highlights the turf war between the centre and the Delhi government, even at the times of a pandemic. As Delhi becomes a global hotspot, we can only hope that the Lieutenant Governor's office and the Chief Minister can work in tandem in the face of this uphill battle. With camera person Dinesh, Ankit Tyagi in New Delhi, India Today.
Maharashtra, meanwhile, has seen a record single-day spike, registering 4,841 new cases on Thursday. 192 fresh deaths were also reported in the state in the last 24 hours. As per the Health Ministry website, the state has a total of over 1,42,000 cases and over 6,700 deaths. Mumbai, which is the worst hit city in the state, saw a jump of 1,350 cases. The city's crossed the 70,000 mark and has over 4,000 deaths. While the BMC has been successful in controlling the virus spread in densely populated Dharavi, there are 6 wards which are seeing an alarming rise in cases. These 6 wards, which are now under BMC radar, include Borivali, Kandivali, Malad, Dahisar, Mulund, Vikhroli and Kajumrang. Now, despite the rapid increase in COVID-19 cases, Maharashtra government has given a nod for gyms and salons to open in the state. The SOP for reopening of gyms and salons will be released in a week's time. On the 45th anniversary of the emergency imposed by then Prime Minister Indira Gandhi, BJP launched a scathing attack on the Gandhis. While Prime Minister Modi hailed those who fought to protect our democracy during the dark period, Home Minister Amit Shah hurled the one dynasty jibe. Congress hit back, saying that it was a government of 2 people right now.
भाइयों और बहनों, राष्ट्रपति जी ने
The occasion, 45th anniversary of what is called India's darkest hour, the emergency.
The President has proclaimed emergency. This is nothing to panic about.
जब देश में आपातकाल लगाया गया, तब उसका विरोध सिर्फ राजनीतिक दायरे तक सीमित नहीं रहा था, राजनेताओं तक सीमित नहीं रहा था, जेल के सलाखों तक आंदोलन सिमट नहीं गया था, जन जन के दिल में एक आक्रोश था.
Old wounds, old feuds, festering for 45 years. Politics was but expected as India marked 45 years of the emergency.
जिस तरह से लोगों को नियंत्रित किया गया, किसी को बोलने की आजादी नहीं, लिखने की आजादी नहीं और विरोध के निर्णय के देने की भी आजादी नहीं थी. लेकिन क्या कांग्रेस पार्टी के चरित्र में कोई बदलाव हुआ है? उस समय इंदिरा गांधी वॉज इंडिया, आज वो समझता है गांधी परिवार इज कांग्रेस.
जो देश के अंदर की समस्याएं हैं, वो बेरोजगारी हो, वो अर्थव्यवस्था की समस्या हो, उस पर भी आप सिर्फ कुछ वक्त तक पर्दा डाल सकते हैं. उसके बाद तो असलियत सामने आ ही जाती है. तो आप पर्दा कब तक डाल सकते हैं?
BJP Congress trading barbs with BJP leading the charge with the one dynasty jibe, hinting at the Gandhis, and Congress countering it with the 2 people only reply, hinting that this government is run by just Modi and Shah. Home Minister Amit Shah today tweeted to honor those who fiercely oppose the emergency. Alluding to the Gandhis, Amit Shah criticized one family for turning the nation into a prison overnight. Congress leader Randeep Singh Surjewala hit back at the BJP, saying, as India's ruling party, BJP needs to answer, why is its majoritarian rule described as government of 2 people only and all others are mere sidekicks? Hinting at the Amit Shah-Narendra Modi duo, further stating why is horse trading, mass defection and institution capture its only legacy. Why is it obsessed in its wild hatred of Nehru Gandhis?
हमारे नेता हर दिन ट्वीट करके
From BJP's party president JP Nadda to Prakash Javadekar, tweets by BJP leaders came down heavily on the Gandhi family.
Shri Amit Shah ji has today indicated in the tweet and reminded that this emergency was imposed nothing but to express the absolute loyalty and contain the absolute power for one family.
25th June 1975 will go down in the annals of Indian history when in a single stroke, an announcement made by then Prime Minister Indira Gandhi ushered in the darkest period for independent India. The emergency that lasted till March 1977 saw civil liberties being restricted, political dissent suppressed. The emergency, an albatross carried till now by a party hemmed by the then larger-than-life Gandhi and the family she left behind. Bureau Report, India Today.
And let's also get you the latest this morning on the Assam floods. 14 people unfortunately have lost their lives after heavy rains triggered flood situation in Assam for the last few days. The situation is worse in 7 districts of the state, which includes Jorhat, Tinsukia, Dibrugarh and Dhemaji, among several other districts. The floods have in fact affected more than 50,000 people and forced thousands to leave their homes towards safer locations. NDRF teams also rescued many people trapped in floodwaters in Tinsukia. The floodwaters have submerged 5,300 hectares of cropland in the affected districts. Following unabated rains, the water level of the Brahmaputra River and its tributaries are flowing above the danger level in many parts of the state. Welcome back. Let's get you now some news from the world of entertainment. Here's a look at what Bollywood is up to.
The final post-mortem report has been received by police in the Sushant Singh Rajput suicide case. The cause of death has been cited as asphyxia due to hanging. The provisional post-mortem report was signed by 3 doctors, while the final report has been signed by 5 doctors after detailed analysis. There was no struggle marks or external injuries on Sushant Singh Rajput's body, and his nails were clean. The post-mortem report says it is a clear case of suicide and no other foul play. Meanwhile, an old tweet by author Chetan Bhagat, in which he'd announced Sushant Singh Rajput's casting in the film adaptation of his novel Half-Girlfriend, has been unearthed. Sushant dropped out of the film and was replaced by Arjun Kapoor. Chetan Bhagat had tweeted in late 2015, and I quote, "So happy to share, Sushant Singh Rajput will play the lead in Mohit Suri directed Half-Girlfriend. Shooting begins in the first quarter of 2016. Sushant had made his film debut with another Chetan Bhagat adaptation, Kai Po Che. Sushant had said in an interview that he dropped out of Half-Girlfriend and other films because of scheduling conflicts. Irfan Khan's son Babil has penned a moving note urging people to stop investigating the reason behind Sushant's demise and to not use the late actor's death for rebelling on nepotism. Babil took to social media to write that guilt-tripping someone for a death robs us of the honest peace that we were seeking.
And it was the first day of that film.
Amitabh Bachchan's quest for gathering more knowledge knows no bounds. This time, the actor was searching for a Hindi term for the mask. And guess what? He succeeded. As soon as he came across the perfect term, he posted on social media. See if you can decipher the really long words.
Hi everyone, Preeti Chaudhary here. Hope you like this video. For latest news and analysis, like and subscribe to the India Today YouTube channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated. Thank you for watching.